Join me in reviewing these 7 sketchbooks dating from the era of 2000 up to 2003 during my high school era. These sketchbooks are going to be reviewed for archive because I'm looking to get rid of these physical copies because this was a time when I sketched a lot as a form of therapy to de-stress and to exercise my creativity. So join me in reviewing these and let's see where it goes. All right, the next sketchbook I'm going through for archiving. Third sketchbook. I did spend some time organizing this in a sequence, and I'm grateful that I had cataloged these in a specific order. Like I made sure that there was some level of a sequence. You can tell that I've been trying to improve on face, but I didn't know the proportioning between joints, arm, and body. Anatomy wasn't something that I really looked at. As you can imagine, I'm also like, it's short here. Like it's like even I got the styling of the hair correct. The skull is not anatomically correct. So, um, and I get the anatomy better in certain positions, but usually I have to have something in my memory that allows for the anatomy to make sense. But it didn't make sense in all ways because I didn't there wasn't enough references in the world, and there was no Google. Google wasn't in a place that effectively allowed me to reference things, and books were just expensive, and going to the library was like, which way do I go in order to search for anatomical references? So 2001 was a limited time. You still see elements. And at this point, I was fascinated with inverse bubbling within effects. So instead of it going outwards, it was going inwards within a circle. Still going off of some semblance of this design work. But you can tell that compared to older sketchbooks, I am getting better. Although still having the same problem of the way the skull is structured. Because if this was true anatomy, like I'd be missing a good chunk of their skull. But everything else kind of makes sense. This is not, yeah, anyways. Criticizing old work doesn't really do anything. People making out. This is still in 2001, by the way. Last 2 sketchbooks are also 2001. Definitely enjoyed drawing trees. If anything, I probably excelled at drawing trees. Not the best, but the general idea is there. I even made something called Chibi Chicks, even though at this point I would be reading this as Chibi Sheiks. So Maya, Miyako, June. Test drawing. No idea. Trying to draw Miyako again. You see like the V-shaped thing, not realizing that the hips need to be wider. Like I even tried to, like this helped doing the turnarounds when I became aware of it. So it helped. It helped me structure. Not fully understanding arm length though, but I did give my character a surname, Miyako Suzuki. Character name Sakura. I did have some art books at this time, which is why you see some improvements in the eyes, so I had something to reference off of. So Justin drew this one. I don't know if you can really see it. My buddy Justin Scott drew this one. Fantastic work. He was one of my fellow artists in school. I believe the artists in my class were myself, Justin Scott, Aaron Lamb, and Joshua Hardiman. We all had different styles. I think Josh's style was probably a little closer to Justin's, And my buddy Aaron Lamb, he would do his own things. He'd mostly do like cars and stuff. But credit to Aaron Lamb, like after we all graduated high school, he really pursued art and design. Um, and I didn't really go that route. If anything, I went down the route of the stereotypical nursing approach. But for Aaron, he went to Art Center before I even knew what Art Center was, out in Pasadena. And since then, he became a fantastic, I think, industrial and furniture designer. He was able to travel the world, find a partner. It's just fantastic, kind of like fantasy, um, going from zero to like 1,000. Like Aaron, I admire Aaron. I didn't envy him. I actually appreciated his journey. I tried to live vicariously through his work, his achievements, and kudos to Aaron. He never drew anything in mind, but him going from a sketch artist to just being a world class designer is fantastic. But Justin, this is another piece from Justin, vastly different from the Roman design that he did. So yeah, something to admire. He's like some sort of ogre with two mouths, and have some mushrooms on his back or little trees. Yeah, Justin's style is pretty solid. He drew another one. I didn't realize he drew so many. Um, Totally forgot he drew multiples. Yeah, looks like some sort of goblin guy with some hair, beard, goatee, and a sword. Here's a touch sketch of a girl blowing a kiss. Cat girl. Okay, so I really need to emphasize that I'm really not a furry. I think it's just that from a popular illustration animation standpoint, there was just a lot of furry media. Um, this just ends up something that I end up drawing because it's within the scope of my awareness. As you can also tell, you can't really see the illustration behind, and I really love this paper way more. That's why I will always get, this is Strathmore, right? Let me see, this is Strathmore? Where the frick is it? Yeah, Strathmore sketchbooks. I prefer these the most. They're a little more pricey than that cheapo one I got, but definitely better for graphite work. More test sketching. Man, this girl looks freaking depressed. More test sketching. Dude with blade hands, probably inspired by Candyman. Oh, this is definitely inspired by gargoyles. This is likely inspired by Demona. Yeah. I don't want to say this was inspired by Ghidorah from the Godzilla franchise, but it does have the three heads. So I'm not really sure. Well, it's just fourth edition. Oh, because this is the fourth version of this dragon versus whatever. I didn't finish it. Girl with a gun, side view. Oh. Okay. I think this looks familiar. I want to say this was inspired by either a computer game, maybe it was Descent Free Space, or it could also have been inspired by Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Star Trek Voyager happened at this time. Either way, I had fun drawing this design. I call this the Tachyon X1 Hydra. Don't know what this was from. Like, I can get really lazy and then end up having the same style. This does borrow from some level of Mega Man cartoon, maybe. Practicing that John Woo style, jumping to the side and firing guns. Oh, here's my approach with Spawn. So I definitely got into Spawn. Didn't really have a sense of how the robes would work, so I just like this exercise was very therapeutic for me. Sorceress, definitely inspired by Diablo 2. No idea what I was doing here, but this is a summoner, allegedly. Protoss Berserker, so definitely StarCraft. This is a character that I guess I called a Vasjeri. So it's a three-eyed mystical cat person. I'm going to assume this was inspired by a Rakshasa from Dungeons and Dragons, amongst other mythological influences. No idea. This is me practicing more chains. This character I call Dreadlock. More chains, so Dreadlock versus Spawn. It's kind of weird just having a bunch of chains. Some angel dude. This is a Minotaur guy. I think this is still either this is me borrowing off of Justin's style. Not sure. Celis as an angel. I feel like I've seen this composition from a Magic card. This guy called Valen. Then this is my sequel idea, Matalock 2, Siphon Lock. Got this ensemble cast thing again. I'm pretty sure I derived this from some sort of Sports Illustrated. Here's that Tachyon Hydra ship thing. No idea, but I think I was trying to copy an eye design. Dreadlock. Yeah, there was a lot of me trying to own my own kind of creative intellectual property. No idea. This was me practicing effects, certain character costume ideas. This is called a Wild Sorceress. Red Fox, I'm assuming inspired by Star Fox. Me practicing sketch effects or line art effects. I think I can do something with this notion of sketch effects. Oh wait, is this another two-parter? Oh yeah, it's a two-parter. It's like this connects to this, but you can't, you'd have to rip it off to connect it side by side. I feel like this was inspired by a can illustration. Yeah, I have no idea. Random sketches, the notion of using an Eiffel Tower as a Tesla coil. I think so. That's probably Red Alert, Command and Conquer. Um, this is my initial attempt of doing cherry blossoms in Japan. I like this thing more than anything else. I think this is Akane, I'm not sure. This is Dreadlock. I believe this was inspired by some sort of either Batman or Deadpool move. Dreadlock, blowing someone's brain apart. Zack and I think this is Akane. Your high school lover boy Pervo in a locker room and some buff ninja dude. I don't know. Catgirl, also probably Felicia inspired. Yeah, so I was getting better, but... Oh, and then this one, I believe this was an idea of how this creature would come out of the summoning sequence. So it would be a small whirl, and then the whirl would get bigger, and then 4 eyes would come out, and then the mouth would come out behind the eyes because the eyes are just its tongue, I guess, and then its wings would come out. I think this was inspired by one of the Japanese games. And then this would come out with another set of wings. Might have been Final Fantasy. This is a character, and this is where I started to become fascinated with scythes. There's a scythe here. This is a character I called Katrina. No idea. No backstory, just gave it a name. Here's Miyako again. Always with the bubble hair thing. Here's some random dinosaur bird. There's a lot of crystalline shading and some dude that's about to attack this dragon-y thing. Some sorceress thing. Something I called Shatterstar. I think this one definitely was inspired by the 90s comics. Like Lady Deathstrike from X-Men, at this point called X-Men 97. Yeah, there's a lot of design between Silvestri, Campbell, and a whole bunch of other people at the time that had some type of design like this, and I was inspired by that. Yeah, so you get another picture of that girl. Yeah, so I was getting better overall with poses and stuff. So you really see the evolution of the way I do things. It's Miyako again. Talvishna, because this is inspired by Diablo. I called this Diablo the Sin Wars. This is inspired by Freddy Krueger. Girl with a teddy bear. I like the teddy bear more than the rest of this composition. I have a feeling this is Magic Knight Ray Earth inspired facial design. Miyako again. Sakane. This is also when I'm learning how to write certain things in Japanese. Overall head is getting better. Body, it's okay, not the best. Yeah, getting better at writing. Technically, I would not be writing katakana or katakana with that name, but I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, like this is hiragana. This is proper use of how I would write the name, if not kanji straight up. Still definitely influenced by the 90s, influenced by Phoenix from the X-Men. Called this character Silverine. Yeah, exploring more designs, getting better, doing the goggle character thing. Fairy character Alia. No idea. I don't know what I was doing with this one. Just exploring ideas. Praying. Girl in a bikini with heels. Dragon versus squid. Yeah, I thought I was fascinated with this idea because I don't think I've ever seen it done before. So, yeah, dragon versus giant squid. Made a character called Akuma Suzuki. No idea. Didn't have a storyline for this character. There's this Manalock. I started using Miyako as the main character for that. Concept 1, mysterious figure, exploding something. I think this is supposed to be the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, definitely the Eiffel Tower. No idea any of these characters. I totally forgot what the story was. Here is me practicing with character body segments. No idea. This girl's topless. No idea still. Yeah, I had just had a concept. Had no idea what any of these characters were. Yeah, but you can see that I wasn't really consistent with my progress. Like, I did it and just to mimic it, but I didn't understand what I was mimicking. That's why you will see me kind of go back and forth with progress and then regression. Yeah, so you'll see me go back and forth with progress at this period of time. Because, yeah, I did not know what this was. I have no idea who drew this. This doesn't look like me. Here's Mandalock 2. Still no idea. This definitely was inspired by Warcraft 3 intro cinematic of the Orc Warrior versus the Alliance Footmen. And this is the end of that sketchbook. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Some good stuff, but a lot of it was mostly practice. Jeez. Yeah, see, going through this can be challenging because the way this folds is not the best. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that review. It's now recorded as part of history, digitally at least. And yeah, catch the next sketchbook.